Have you seen someone create their own disaster? I run a coffee cart, and let me tell you, the farmer's market game is cutthroat. Every vendor pays steep booth fees and follows strict rules. Break them, and you're banned permanently. There's this prime spot right at the market entrance. Perfect foot traffic, morning commuters, weekend families. I've been booking it for 2 years, always on time with my fees. So last Saturday, I show up at 5 a.m. to set up. My usual spot is already taken by some guy in a massive espresso truck called Grind Time. Chrome everywhere, neon lights, music blasting like a nightclub on wheels. The owner jumps out wearing designer jeans and a fedora. I'm not kidding about the fedora. Morning neighbor, he says like we're best friends. Name's Chad. I'm upgrading this whole operation. I check my paperwork. This is my assigned spot. Booth A1. I've got the permit right here. Chad waves dismissively. I talked to the market manager last week. Told him I'd bring in way more revenue than your little cart. We made a deal. Now I'm confused. What deal? The manager never called me. Well, Chad smirks. Maybe your setup just isn't cutting it anymore. Time to adapt or get left behind. Here's what Chad didn't know. The farmer's market has ironclad rules. You can't just make deals with individual managers. All booth assignments go through the board, and any changes require written notice. But I decide to let this play out. Okay, I say. I'll set up in the backup area and call the board Monday morning. Chad looks relieved. Smart move. Nothing personal. Just business. What Chad also didn't know is that the market president, Margaret, does surprise inspections every Saturday morning. She's this sweet 70-year-old grandmother who runs the market like a military operation. I set up my small cart about 50 feet away and wait. Around 8 a.m., here comes Margaret with her clipboard and measuring tape. She's a stickler for regulations, booth spacing, permit displays, noise levels, everything. She walks straight to Chad's truck, and I can see the conversation from my spot. "Excuse me, I don't see your permit displayed," Margaret says politely. Chad barely looks up from his espresso machine. "Yeah, it's around here somewhere. I talked to your manager about upgrading this corner." Margaret's eyebrows go up. "Which manager?" The guy. Brian. He said my truck would bring in more money than the coffee cart." Margaret looks confused. "Sir, Brian is our volunteer parking coordinator. He doesn't make booth assignments, and this spot is reserved for our 2-year vendor." Chad gets defensive. "Look, lady, I paid good money to be here. $500 cash to that Brian guy." That's when Margaret's expression changes completely. "You paid Brian $500? Yeah, for the prime spot. Best investment I ever made." Margaret writes something down. "Sir, booth fees are $60, and they're paid to the market office, not individual volunteers. You've just admitted to attempted bribery of a market official." Chad's confidence starts cracking. "Wait, what? It's not bribery. It's just business. And I don't see your health department certificate displayed anywhere." Margaret continues. "That's, in the truck somewhere." Margaret climbs up to look inside his truck. What she finds is beautiful. No hand washing station. No refrigeration thermometer logs. Raw milk sitting out for who knows how long. "Sir, this is a major health code violation. You're operating without proper sanitation facilities." But wait, it gets better. Margaret pulls out her decibel meter. Chad's truck is blasting music at 85 decibels. The market limit is 65. "Noise violation," she notes. "And your truck is extending 18 inches beyond the booth boundary." Chad's girlfriend, who's been running the register, starts panicking. "Chad, just shut it down. This is getting crazy." "I'm not shutting down anything," Chad yells. "I paid $500 for this spot." That outburst draws a crowd. Families with kids start backing away from the loud, angry guy in the fedora. Margaret calmly writes more notes. "Public disturbance. Inappropriate behavior toward market officials." By now, other vendors are watching the show. Everyone knows Margaret. Have you seen someone create their own disaster? I run a coffee cart, and let me tell you, the farmer's market game is cutthroat. Every vendor pays steep booth fees and follows strict rules. Break them, and you're banned permanently. There's this prime spot right at the market entrance. Perfect foot traffic, morning commuters, weekend families. I've been booking it for 2 years. So last Saturday, I show up at 5 a.m. to set up. My usual spot is already taken by some guy in a massive espresso truck called Grind Time. Chrome everywhere, neon lights, music blasting like a nightclub. The owner jumps out wearing designer jeans and a fedora. I'm not kidding about the fedora. Morning.